Is the iPad 3 already en route to Apple stores for the announcement on March 7th? Is Samsung resting on its laurels for the Galaxy S3? Is Google copying Siri? And speaking of Google, did it file a patent to make a computer trackpad that's more like a phone's touchscreen? All that, yays and nays, and more today on Rumor Has It. It's Tuesday, February 28th, 2012, and welcome to Rumor Has It, everyone. I'm Emily Dreyfus.
And I'm Corrine Levy, and welcome to the internet's most awesome, greatest of all time game show on Earth ever.
My favorite game show, yes.
And this is Rumor Has It, where we round up the week's hottest rumors, and then we discuss them forever and ever and ever, and talk about them, and love them, and cradle them in our arms.
And decide which ones sound true and which ones sound like utter bunk.
And then we bet on them, and then at the end of the month, the loser has to do something embarrassing.
And this month, it might be me, because if we check the leaderboard over here, Rumor Has It scoreboard, we went back and found... Yep. Corrine is actually beating me by 1 point. And that is because, ladies and gentlemen, if you have been brushing your teeth for the past half an hour, or checking your email, or in a meeting, or dropping your children off from school, you may have missed that Apple sent out invites to the iPad 3 event. What? So what that means is the iPad 3 is confirmed. It is coming out on March 7th. It may not be called the iPad 3. Do we know that for a fact?
Do we know it's coming out on March 7th, or are they just going to announce it?
They're going to announce it on March 7th. But
they're going to announce it on March 7th.
Apple isn't...
will make it available.
Yeah, they make it available pretty quickly.
And in fact, they have not called it the iPad 3. I want to bring that back. It could be the iPad 2S still, folks.
No.
Right, but it is definitely an iPad event.
And it's a new iPad that's going to be released. They sent out invites to an unveiling announcement that will be in San Francisco, right down the street from us. So I will be missing from work that day and crowding the offices of the Yerba Buena Center for the Arts to try to get in, because I clearly didn't get an invite. Only Josh Lowenson did. And it says on this invite, we have something you really have to see and touch. And it shows an image of a finger marking Wednesday, March 7th on the calendar on the screen of a new iPad. And so there are two things to notice about this image. First of all, if that's the bottom of the iPad, where's the home button? What? Maybe they're doing away with the home button, which is crazy because that button kind of does a lot of stuff. And then second, it says we have something you really have to see and touch. And as we've been talking about on the show for a really long time, the most expected and exciting and lauded new feature coming on the iPad 3 is the idea that it's going to have the Retina Display, which is the super dense, beautiful, gorgeous HD display that the iPad has, that the iPhone has, but made bigger for the iPad 3, which means that everyone who has the iPad 1 and the iPad 2 will be really sad because the iPad 3 will have amazing, better graphics. So I feel as though them saying there's something you really have to see is sort of a hint that it might have said Retina Display.
We voted on whether it would be happen on March 7th, and so I voted yes, and you said no, which is where the point comes in. Now, we also voted on whether it would have a Retina display, and I said no, and you said yes. So,
whoa!
But that's going to happen. That's for next month, so it'll just depend on what actually transpires so that won't be in time for the humiliation day next week, because the event is happening.
So you guys will get to embarrass me
on the 7th. And
maybe that could be the humiliation, is Emily trying to get into the Apple event.
That
and being
would
denied.
be so funny,
right?
They would deny me.
That means we'll have to push back our humiliation day a week, which would be worth it for Emily to try to get into the event.
Yes. Now, since that wasn't a rumor, that's just news that we wanted to give you off the top, because it's very exciting, and obviously we've been talking about the iPad 3 for a really long time. We're going to get into our rumors in 1 second, but before that, we have a very special moment.
Yes.
Our very special Steven has a message.
Yes, I would like to take this time to address our new YouTube fans. We have recently began syndicating to YouTube, and Rumor Has It is there now. You can go watch all of our CNET podcast shows. But before I address them, I just want to be the first to make the comment. You know how they do a first, second, third.
Yeah,
all
oh
that
yeah,
stuff?
oh yeah.
It's
They're like
totally
first.
annoying.
Right.
Yeah, first, second, third. No. Okay, so I wanted to do a preemptive comment on our video before anyone else gets a chance to. So first of all, I'd like to say you're stupid, you're ugly, I think you're dumb, I hate your dumb face, and I'm hitting the dislike button on you, and I think you're lame. So thank you.
You
Thank
just
you
took
all
care
for
of.
idea.
You just took care of like half of our comments.
Yeah.
So now anybody else who says anything like that is copying.
Yeah, now
Yes.
they're gonna have to work a little bit harder to insult how we look, how we speak,
Yes.
and everything about us and why we were born.
Right, and I feel like we should do that very special welcome every week, just as a reminder to our
Yes.
new YouTube
Yes.
fans. And so
Thank
that
you for watching.
Oh, we
everyone on
forgot
YouTube.
to
Thank you.
say you're women and you should get back in the kitchen.
Oh, right. That is another big one that we keep
Yeah.
getting. And stop
Yes.
cackling like hens.
Yeah.
So I will try to stop cackling like a hen while I cook breakfast for all the men in the room.
Oh my God,
It was
Steven, that was
needed to be
amazing.
said. So thank you, YouTube, for being fans.
Thank you. Thank you for taking a moment out of your life to do that. I think it was important.
I think it was important. Yeah, we should do that every week.
So should we get to the rumors?
Yeah, let's get
is that
to
what's happening?
the
So
first
the
real
iPad
rumor.
stuff is super exciting. I'm really excited that it's finally happening, that we don't have to ever talk about it anymore
Yeah.
after next week.
And Steven, do you have an iPad already?
No, I'm waiting for the
You're
iPad 3.
gonna get the
I will
iPad
get it,
3.
yes.
Wow.
It's on my grocery list.
Oh, so good. So maybe we can all look at that one
And then
see.
you have a 1.
Yeah, maybe it's
Oh my
time
God,
to
so
upgrade.
you have
Yeah,
a
we
1,
can
I have a
compare.
2, Steven will get a 3, and then we'll be like a little traveling iPad band.
Yeah, we can. Oh, yeah, totally.
We can like play
could be
different
it.
things. Like,
that
it'll
could
like
be
little
a
guitar.
humiliation day if I've ever seen it.
Yeah, and people will be like, wow, first world problems.
Right. My case isn't big enough for my iPad 3.
I'm really excited about that.
All right. So our first rumor is not about anything Apple related, finally, for once. It is about the Galaxy S3 and that details of this phone have leaked online. So information obtained by Boy Genius Report tells
AKA
us
BGR.
BGR tells us that Samsung plans to launch the device across more than 50 markets or cities simultaneously, which is good news for those hoping to see the US models arrive at or near the same time as its international counterpart, which doesn't always happen. Sometimes they release it in Europe first, and then everybody here is sad, and then by the time it comes out, they're done with it because they've moved on.
And we want to be number 1. We never want to be number 2.
We're number 1. So the Galaxy S3 will run Android 4.0 Ice Cream Sandwich, of course, and it'll have Samsung's Touch Wiz UI, and it'll boast a massive 4.8-inch Full HD display, which is crazy.
That's
Look at that
awesome.
screen.
It
I
looks
know, it's
gorgeous.
it's so edge to edge.
More specifically, the screen will be 1080p HD and will offer a 16:9 aspect ratio, which
so
is
it would be perfect to connect to your TV and
totally
watch,
and to watch
stream stuff.
movies,
Yeah.
and that is unheard of as of now. No phone until now has had the 16:9 aspect ratio, so that's crazy. And we were just getting used to the 720p HD screens, and then they're going to blow our minds with 1080p.
If I got this 1080p phone, it would be better than my TV.
Yeah.
My TV is 720.
Yeah, so is mine. Totally. So, like, everybody gather around my 4.8-inch screen because it's better. It'll run a 1.5 gigahertz quad-core Samsung Exynos processor. It'll have an 8-megapixel rear camera, a 2-megapixel front-facing camera, 4G LTE connectivity, and rounding out the details, or my favorite detail, is that it will come in a ceramic case, which seems so weird.
Wow.
Is that a thing? And then, which is different from Samsung, which usually goes with plastic cases, the chassis, my favorite word of all time. So I don't know what a ceramic case, it sounds like that would be even more breakable than
More
glass.
breakable, yeah. But, no, there are some like hardcore, intense, really strong ceramics out there. So maybe
Yeah,
Try-
I mean, maybe that's a thing, and maybe it's lighter than metal, and I don't know what the
or maybe
benefits
it
of it are.
conducts things better, or it gets less hot, or something.
Totally. So, I mean, clearly there's a reason for them to do that. So, in an earlier show, in this show that we have no idea what happened in it because we were exhausted at in Las Vegas at the CES show, we reported that the device might be released at Mobile World Congress, and it hasn't yet.
It's not. It's officially delayed. It's not coming at Mobile World
So
Congress.
it's not. So
Yeah.
so I don't know how we voted because that that show was like lost.
It was like
in
a
the ether
whirlwind.
of
What
my
happens in
mind.
Vegas stays in Vegas, including that show.
So
Which will never be seen again.
So now the new reports are saying that it will come out sometime in May. So in the story, Scott Webster, the person who wrote the story, points out that when this phone comes out, it'll be the most popular Android smartphone out there, most likely, because just last week Samsung announced that the Galaxy 2 sold 20 million units in only 10 months, and its sales are just increasing. They're not even slowing down, they're just ramping up.
Wow.
And so they're doing so well with the S2.
No wonder Apple is suing them.
Well, that's, oh my God, totally. They're
I mean-
ripping off yet one more thing from Apple. Hey, that letting people get all crazy in anticipation, acting all crazy hush hush about their device that's all rumored and whatever. Well, in the meantime, their current generation product is like flying off the shelves.
Yeah.
And people can't
And
get their
maybe that's why they
enough of
delayed it, because people were so disappointed that it wasn't going to come at Mobile World Congress. And now Mobile World Congress is going on right now, and like nothing that exciting, hate to say this,
Totally.
has been released. And this would have been the star of the show. But maybe the reason they didn't release it is because they, like Apple, don't want to release it at someone else's event.
Exactly.
With
They want
everybody else.
That's exactly right. And so their current generation phone is doing so well. Why like burn that bridge
It's
when
like
they're
when you send out an awesome tweet and it starts to get retweeted, and then you tweet again and
Yeah.
you cut off its thunder.
Exactly.
That's what it's like.
Don't tweet while your initial tweet is doing so well.
Yeah.
Just let
Give
it
it some
ride.
room to ride.
Let
Yeah.
it ride. So listen, Samsung, way to go. That's how you do it. You just sit around and let the rumor mill just like keep on swirling around you. And then in May or June or whenever you want it to, just let it go. Let this thing launch. It can have anything by then. It can have ceramic everything. It could be 1080p, whatever. It can have poor battery life.
can
Nobody
make you
cares.
dinner.
It could do what, it could be the worst phone, but nobody will care. They'll be so happy that you finally released it, and the world is going to eat it up because it's a successor to an already amazing product.
Yeah,
and I think
so
that's
true.
what they're banking on. The end.
The end. So shall we vote on this
Yeah,
right now?
we're gonna. I think we should vote on it right now. I think while it's
Okay.
fresh in
Yeah,
our
we're
memories. So, will the Samsung Galaxy S3 come out in May with all of these specs? Remember the ceramic, whatever, the 1080p. Well,
We have to vote on the ceramic? Oy vey.
Just all the
oh,
spe- yeah.
God. Oy vey. Oh.
and will it come out in May?
Yeah.
I say no. I'm going to make it a game. I say no, that this won't happen.
Oh.
It won't come out in May.
It would be really weird for it to be ceramic. I already think that I may be wrong.
Yeah. So we'll see. So we'll see what happens. I mean, even if it comes out in May but doesn't have all these specs, I lost.
Would you give me a half point?
Or one of us lost. You get a half. We're gonna start going to halves because this board is like out of control. With
I know.
rumors.
Remember how we thought that we would never have any points because nothing would ever come true and it would be so long tail?
And now
we have 8 points.
Yeah, and we don't even know where half those points came from.
No. we know somewhere. We have some people on it. Don't you worry.
Yeah, don't worry. We have
like a
the
team of analysts.
the CNET fishermen.
Yeah. Okay, well, so shall we take a short break? And then when we come back, we'll talk about 2 interesting patent rumors from Google that are either copying everyone or on the cutting edge of innovation. You decide.
Students can register for the lottery starting tomorrow, and registration is open until Friday. The UAA will notify the winners of the lottery by Monday, December 15th, and vouchers can then be picked up from Tuesday through Thursday. Now, students with more than 90 credit hours have the best chance of getting tickets, but everyone is welcome to sign up. Live from the newsroom, Kara Manelli, WUFT News.
Thanks, Kara.
And we're back.
And we're back. That little video is so funny.
It's so embarrassing. You know that I mean, that can happen to me any moment. Sometimes people walk by the podcast room and they don't realize that we can't see them, and they're like,
They're peeking in the window.
Right, and we're like, well, we can
we
kind of
need
see
that
you.
animated GIF of Homer Simpson going into the bush.
Just yeah.
I'll find that in a minute. But okay, so now back from our break. Our first rumor about Google patents today comes from the source Patently Apple, which is generally only concerned with Apple patents, but I think watches Apple's competitors to see what they're doing and if they're stealing and if Apple should be stealing it back. So Patently Apple reports that Google has filed a patent for a Siri-like voice control for its Google TV.
Uh-oh.
That one other part of it is not just that it would be for Google TV itself, but it actually pulls in integration with Android devices like phones and tablets so that you can interact with your Android device with your voice and have it program your Google TV. That's what this supposed patent is about. Now, I want to mention one caveat off the top of this that I find very strange, and that is that Patently Apple, in their report, they give images that look very legitimate. They give details that look very legitimate, and the figures all look right, but they do not link to the actual patent filed by Google, which it is supposedly, and it should be, a public patent. And in the next rumor that Kareen's going to talk about, you'll see that in that one, we get to look at the patent. Now, this morning I tried searching the U.S. patent website for this patent itself, but it was incredibly difficult and wanted me to do Boolean logic to get to it, and I had to come to work, and I was doing it on my phone on the bus, so it didn't quite work. But I urge any of you guys who really want to be sleuths to go and see if we can find this actual patent, because it's a little bit odd that they didn't link to it. And then all of these other sources have been reporting on Patently Apple's report without the source.
Right, and that does not look like patent art.
I mean,
No.
Usually it's like big one stick figure doing this thing. Like,
well, and we can compare it to the patent that you're about to talk about that has real art in it,
Right.
and see. I
and
mean,
actually links to the patent.
and
itself.
actually links to the patent. So I'm a little bit skeptical of this. That doesn't mean it's not true. Lots of other publications are not taking it with a grain of salt. They're taking it like, yes, this is a patent. It's been filed. And I think it is a little bit odd that they didn't then go out and find the patent. Anyways, what it suggests is that merely 6 days after Apple announced iCloud, so this was last September, at Google, so what was the exact date? September 29th,
yeah.
2011 is when they say that this patent was filed. Google filed to have a voice-controlled user interface that is on its Google TV, which is sometimes built in. It's on like a couple Logitech TVs, but it's generally a set-top box. That would allow you to control that using your voice, not using motion control, which is one of the suggestions that Siri, the one that would be on the Apple TV that is rumored to exist and that will be rumored to have Siri control, would be not just voice but also gesture, so that you could say, "Turn on," or like you could say, "When is Seinfeld on?" and then go like this or something to go down to the next one. This doesn't include that at all. It's just voice, but it's pretty cool. And it's pretty cool that you can do it with your device, because if you think about the fact that your TV might be in a different part of your house, but you've got your smartphone in your pocket, you might want to say to your phone, "Oh, hey, can you turn on the Academy Awards?" And start recording.
Or exactly, or you can do it as you walk into the house, and
Yeah.
you can say, start recording this, or turn
Yeah.
this on, or turn the TV on,
Totally.
or turn it up.
Yeah, or like if
whatever.
your TV is across the room and you're cooking, you can say to your phone, "Hey, can you change the channel? My show's coming on. And can you turn up the volume? And can you record it?"
Right.
And that's actually really rad. I have no idea if it'll work. People don't have Google TV. My friend Liz actually has the Google TV, and she's written me and said, "You need to stop bad-mouthing Google TV, because I have it and I love it." And good for you, Liz. You're keeping them in business. I'm really happy about it.
I know somebody was selling one at the office the other day, and Emily and I looked at each other. We're like, "Nope."
Absolutely
No
not. We're
thanks.
like, how low will you go? I'm not even taking it for free. But this would be pretty cool. Now, this to me seems like, even though, as I said, I'm a little bit confused about why we don't get to see the actual patent, it does seem like this is the direction that all TV manufacturers are going in, and people who have TV OSs and ways that you can interact with the TV. And as we saw in Vegas at CES, LG and Samsung have already announced TVs that have this built in to their systems. And the Apple TV that everyone's super excited about, I mean, the main reason they're excited about it is because of this reason, because it's the remote control that Steve Jobs wanted to murder.
Right.
And this just does away with that.
What I kind of like about this better than the Siri, dare I say it, what I like about this, patent filing or whatever, better than what Siri is doing is Siri is like making you, in the rumored iTV, yell at your TV. And so you're like, turn on Seinfeld or whatever. And then this, you're yelling into your device.
Yeah.
But if this were to surpass the Siri implementation in the iTV, what I would like about it is like right now, like with the Kinect or whatever, when you talk, or with the Xbox, you have to say like Bing, search. You have to like use very static commands. And with Siri or with something like this, that would be interesting if you just said turn on whatever.
And that's what this patent suggests. That one of the images shows them saying, "What time is Seinfeld on?" And then it lists Seinfeld is on Fox at 7. Da, da, da. Do you want to watch? And so it understands regular English, like every good robot should.
Right. I mean, please don't make me use stock questions because I don't remember how to do. I can barely remember like the stock things to do.
I mean, I have a voice controlled GPS that's built into my car, and there are certain things I have to say to it. And what's wonderful about it is that like it's like my secret language with my car. Amal, go home. And then it can take me home. But I can't say, please take me home. And then it's like, do you want to display restaurant? But yeah, I mean, I actually think that it's probably likely that when the iTV does come out, if it does later in the year, which I'm sure we're going to talk about forever, that it will include some sort of iOS fully baked implementation where you could talk to your iPhone and your iPad and do it that way. I mean, and that stands to see if the iPad 3 will have Siri, which we're not sure. But the iPad 4S currently has Siri, so you could use that perhaps. But yeah, the thing that's interesting about this is that the filing was so early, that it was September 29th of last year, before we were even talking about Apple TV, really. I mean, Gene Munster was talking about it, but we weren't. And so the suggestion is that since they've been working on it, and they already have Google TV that exists, they're not having to build an actual television from scratch at Google headquarters, that perhaps they'd beat Apple to the punch with this voice-controlled stuff. That actually, to me, doesn't seem that exciting because LG and Samsung already did that. So who cares? But that is the rumor.
Love it.
Yes.
I love it. I love yelling into my phone.
So now let me say, let us bet on it. Will Google TV get voice control?
To make you shout into your phone, though.
To your phone, yeah. Will Google TV get mobile voice control for its TV?
Yes. What do you think?
Yeah, I think yes. I think it's inevitable.
Great. Inevitability. That's what we like.
And you know what will happen if it doesn't happen? We'll both be like,
it was inevitable.
It was inevitably wrong that we were wrong.
Well, have you girls ever used Google, the voice search on Google? Like where you just speak into Google and it'll search something for you?
No, but it's
I have
pretty
a couple
awesome.
of times, yeah.
It works
in
really
action.
good. I think it works a lot better than Siri, actually. So that's going to be cool when it happens.
That is cool.
Ooh, well, then they're already on their way to making it awesome.
Kaboom.
Bajam, sablam.
All right, so now that we're on a Google kick, let us continue with Google. Google has replaced Apple today in the.
Well, now that Apple spilled the beans.
Yeah, we have nothing to talk about.
Yeah.
So we can talk about Google all day long. So here's another Google patent. And the thing with patents is that it seems that companies just like release file patents for everything that they think is going to be big or not big or whatever, just to cover themselves. So who knows? You can never tell with patent filings. But here is a Google patent that hints at a mobile and desktop convergence, which makes me say, duh, why wouldn't they do that? Of course. So patently, Apple found a patent filing titled Mapping Trackpad Operations to Touchscreen Events, and it describes a system for turning something like a trackpad on a computer or a notebook computer into an analog for the touchscreen used in conjunction with touch-based applications, essentially putting Android onto a desktop computer. The patent application reads something boring. It's like blah, blah, touchscreen device allow a user to provide direct interaction with a computing device. So basically, it means that it's basically like the magic trackpad, like that Apple has already
been using
implementing
for a long
and
time.
has been using. You know, if you use like 4 fingers, you to the side, it goes to your next open window or whatever. So this patent refers to capabilities that will allow the trackpad operations to be mapped to the touch screen, allowing even computers that don't have touch capabilities to run Android and apps designed for it. So
Weird.
Android OS for a computer, and maybe that's what the rumored Jelly Bean OS is all about. It shows that this patent, what it shows is that Google is really seriously eyeing the desktop realm and the market, and they're trying to make their own version of the Magic Trackpad that Apple already is using. And yes,
it
ma'am.
basically, again, just goes back to the fact that everything is becoming more increasingly influenced by mobile, because people are computing on their smartphones and on their tablets and not just on their computer, and all of that is sort of merging into one thing. And so Google has to do that. And as we're going to see tomorrow, there's a big announcement coming tomorrow morning, which you guys should stay tuned for. Don't stay in front of your computers the entire time, but tune back in tomorrow morning for this big Microsoft announcement where we're going to get to see, most likely, Windows 8. They've announced that that's happening.
Oh, but then we should have won a point for that, because we said that was coming out in February.
Oh well, we're gonna
We'll
win.
see what happens.
Well, yeah, I mean, we'll see. They're gonna talk about it at least, and we feel, as CNET feels, that Windows 8 is going to be much more focused on mobile. It's for tablets. It's also for computers, but it brings everything sort of together. And I think I was just at a panel discussion the other day listening to some young app developers talking about how everyone sort of who's making new products and new software believes that mobile and the distinction between desktop and mobile is going to be gone really soon. So I think that this patent just really jibes with Google trying to make a way for its mobile products to work on its desktop.
Right. Well, patently, Apple speculated in their report of this that Intel could expand its support for Android beyond smartphones to power Ultrabooks with its new chip called the Haswell chip. And it's designed to create a harmony between notebooks and tablets, and by 2013. So the Haswell chip, it promises to support multiple operating system functionality, which is also what Jelly Bean was about, which you can
Sorry. Somebody put a coin in my jukebox requesting that I speak in my old lady shaky voice, so I'm doing it.
So that Jelly Bean, the cool thing about Jelly Bean was that you could boot up to your Android OS or from your Windows OS without
port it over without a reboot.
Without rebooting.
Sorry.
So anyway, could also be coupled with another story that I found, which was cool, which was another Google patent, which you could just, let's say, draw. I don't know how this would work exactly, but like, let's say you're already on Google on your phone. If you draw the letter S on it, it would just start searching. So you basically never leave your fingers from the touchscreen.
That is blowing my mind.
So
sorry, no, but actually that really is blowing my mind. That's pretty awesome.
Anyway,
face mic.
Anyway, let us vote on this one before it gets any crazier.
Okay. Is the Android OS coming to computers?
Yes.
It's got to. It has to.
Yeah, I say yes too.
This remind me of like the Palm Pilot when you had to like draw certain weird little shapes and stuff to get different letters and functionality.
Yeah, totally.
Cool.
So, I mean, it's an interesting
Justin
thing.
Eckhouse was talking about that the other day. Sorry, about how he had to learn a secret language basically for Palm, and like then he remembered it. He had to like relearn how to write because it couldn't learn his handwriting.
It's called like graffiti or whatever.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, and it's like, and it's so weird, and it was hard. It was interesting. So, I mean, obviously, that was the Palm Pilot that needed that functionality was like from 10 years ago. So clearly, they probably will not do it that way. But like, it'd be interesting to just draw a G and Google comes up or whatever.
Yeah, that would be cool.
And then you continue. So you are just constantly doing this on your phone. It seems so awkward.
Yeah, everyone's like, is that person having a seizure?
Well, and then what's funny is that we're like, oh, I don't know. I don't like talking to my phone like, hello, Siri. But instead, I would just want to do this all day. So it's like, no matter what, you look like a crazy. You look like a crazy.
Siri, go here.
Do a Google search.
So then people on the bus are really like,
Right. So then you're doing this and whispering. And so really you look like a lunatic. So, all right.
Shall we get to our yay or nay section?
Yes, please.
Yay or nay?
harpsichord music.
All right. Do you want to read
I
them?
will read them.
Okay, and I'll write. I'll be the the secretary.
The secretary, yes. Fantabulash. Will Apple pull Siri rival the evil Evie from the App Store?
Yes, of course they will. Yay.
I also say, yay. Oh, oops, you're the writer.
Yes.
Sorry. Are Microsoft and Apple teaming up to destroy Android?
Yay.
I say absolutely no.
nay.
I don't understand. I didn't read that story. I chose just to do it based upon entirely the headline, and that makes no sense.
I love it.
Apple and Microsoft, they're mortal enemies. Come
I'm
on.
saying yay.
Okay, good.
I'm the
Rumors
scribe.
are circulating that Samsung's planning a smartphone with an edge-to-edge screen dubbed the Samsung Galaxy B. Will that happen?
Nay.
I say yay.
Yay.
And here's the most boring one of all. And I sort of asked an Apple employee this yesterday, and he laughed at me. But I can't tell you if that is a good thing or a bad thing. Are Apple's iOS dock ports going to get smaller?
Nay.
I say nay. I say nay, too.
Like a horsey.
And here, the most important question of all. Is that smaller iPad going to happen or what?
No. All right. That is our yay or nay or nay section.
Brought to you by Mr. Ed.
Yeah.
Okay, so I think that's basically our show.
Yeah, so now we
Let's listen to our voicemails and have some little fun.
I really like this new format. I think we're really tightening it up. And
It was a lot tighter.
Yeah, I like voting
It
in the
also
middle.
helped that Apple totally obliterated my first rumor.
Yeah.
So off the top, we just had a much
We were
shorter show.
Way ahead of the game. All right, so let's listen to some voicemails.
It's from Kale from Greenville calls in just to say he loves
love
the
this
show.
kid. He's so nice and funny.
Hey guys, this is Kale from Greenville, South Carolina, and I just wanted to say how much I absolutely love the show. I look forward to every Tuesday just so I can listen to you guys make jokes about all the rumors and stuff. And Emily, you are very good with those devil sticks.
Thank you.
Look, he actually does that. The thing about Kale that's the best is that if this is the same kid, he has his own little rumor show on
Yeah.
YouTube. I think it's Kale the Geek. If
Yeah.
that's the same guy, check it out.
Yeah, and if
He's
you guys
so
are watching
nice.
on YouTube, take one break from making mean comments about our show to go and watch him.
Go tell him he sucks.
No, be nice.
Be
Be
a lot
nice.
nicer to him than you are to us,
They
please.
probably will because they will not be yelling at him to go into the kitchen.
Yeah.
I'm like mortified by these comments.
Oh my
It's so
God.
scary.
It is
Right?
scary.
It's a
Yeah.
scary state
They're
of the
like,
world.
I turned on this video and then I saw that it was women. So
what
I
are you
turned it
doing
off.
out of the kitchen and
Yeah.
on YouTube? Like and then they're all first. Stupid.
First sexist, second sexist.
Yeah, totally. Sexism. All right.
Ay.
What else? Do we have any more voicemails?
No, that's it. That's it.
Oh, can we
it.
look at the Homer hiding in a bush
Oh,
gif?
Where
this
can
is
can you
our.
put it
It's
in
at the
the
very
it's in
bottom.
the very bottom of
very
that
bottom
doc.
of the doc? Okay.
This is
This is what Samsung needs to do so that Apple won't notice
made me
them.
laugh hysterically the other day for 10 minutes straight.
I know you were having a bad day and this fixed everything.
I was like, I feel like leaving work today. And then Emily's like, this is what you should do. It's so good.
Hang on, I gotta zoom in on it real quick.
It's really wonderful. It
This is
makes me
great.
so happy. I want to go do it later.
That is
That's
how
me.
I'm going to escape work.
That's how I'm going to watch the iPad 3 event. In the bushes at Yerba Buena Center.
Totally. And everybody's like, where did she go? And you're like,
And I'm all,
in-
just in a bush.
just inside.
Don't worry.
That is so funny, man.
There are probably raccoons in there. Be careful, Homer.
I did it.
You almost, if your
did
shirt
it.
was blue, you would have blended.
I would have just blended into the wall.
Oh my God.
All right,
Okay.
what an awesome honor it was
Yes,
to do the
it
show with you
was.
today, ladies and gentlemen.
And next week will be the day before the iPad 3 event, so we will have a lot of final speculation about what the features will be, which will, I mean, it's going to be the last chance to bet and vote. And then after that, I will most likely have lost, and so then we'll do a great humiliation day that we'll film the next day and show the next week. So don't miss either of those shows, guys. And I hope you have a wonderful day, and thank you so much
Take
for
it easy.
watching.
Thank you, YouTube.